Hi, good evening. So, as a part of my 20,000 kilometers cycling journey for the cause of change before climate change along the borders of India, I'm here in Gauwathi with Shisendu. Shisendu, he leads an organization called as Midwayjourny.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
it's a NGO, right?
It is NGO.
So we would like to know about everything about Midway Journey. It's whatever I've heard and interacted with you. What I've found is it's very interesting, and the kind of service that you're doing to for this cause of climate change is really amazing, very inspiring. So, but before we get into that, tell us about yourself, Shishendu. Like,
Yeah.
where do you come from, and
Yes. So I am born and brought up in Guwahati, and I my like academic background is I studied. Should I continue? I studied physics. I studied did science, and then I was interested into in a research field, and so I was doing astronomy, doing astrophysics, and then suddenly life had other plans. Switched to waste management. So that's what I'm doing now. But I really like physics is my love, and I continue doing that alongside my work with waste. So yeah.
so are you also right now? In what form are you pursuing your passion for physics?
So I taught for 5 years. I was teaching for 5 years.
Where?
So I used to just teach very informally, like not in a school or college. The idea was teaching in school or college would take up my complete day. So I would work in the waste sector till the evening, and after that I would meet students and take sessions, classes on physics. Anyone who would have doubts on 11, 12 physics or graduation level physics. So yeah, it has been informal, but it helped me to keep it alive within me. So, but right now, unfortunately, the work has increased so much that I have taken a break.
Okay.
So, yeah, so fully focused on waste right now.
So, what part of physics fascinates you? Like, I mean, you have classical, you have quantum, you have meta, you have then there are subsections
Yeah,
within
yeah,
it. So,
yeah.
what do you specialize in?
So, cosmology has been my specialization.
Oh.
So, cosmology, high energy astrophysics,
Mhm.
high energy gravity, and quantum physics. These three area has been my specialization. I have done in cosmology and high energy astrophysics. But along with that, quantum is your love.
Oh, great. So, in a way, can I call you the Raj of Big Bang Theory?
Funny character, yeah.
Okay. Great. So let's get to the transition, or rather, not transition, but also along with your love for physics, you've started this NGO Midway Journey.
Yeah.
So, what is it? Tell us more about it.
So basically, what happened is in 2018. So I went for some project work to Shanghai, and then I was here also working with one of my professors in Guwahati also. And in between, there was a break, and one of my cousins, she's a principal of a school, and she invited me uh, to talk about plastic pollution on World Environment Day. And I immediately refused because that's not my forte, right? To talk. I was like, asked me to talk on black holes and galaxies, I can do that. Plastic, I don't know. And she was very adamant. She was like, Karna hi hai. Okay, you have to do it. So then, cousins. So finding no other option, I started preparing. So while I was preparing actually for this, that's when I saw a video on the plastic pollution. There's a movie called Albatross. This movie was actually renamed. Previously, it was called as Midway, and it's a story of albatross birds in Midway Island. They are dying by consuming plastic, ocean plastic or marine plastic, and I was devastated when I saw that. And so yeah, even today I feel that the visual suffering that I have seen has formed play a very big role in what I do in my life. What keeps me motivated because you can call me impractical for this, but then I dream of a suffering-free planet for all species, and that's what drew me to when I saw that. I feel that that is sheer injustice species who have not done anything to to do anything in this problem. Like they have neither generated plastic, made plastic, or demanded for plastic, but they're suffering from that. So that was very unjustified. And I all means people think I work in waste management. That is one part, but my inner motivation is I want to take this story to the world, the story of what is happening in that island.
Okay.
Hence, I named the organization as a Midway Journey because this organization's name has nothing to do with green sustainability. कुछ नहीं है इसमें. So naturally, लोग पूछते हैं कि why the Midway Journey? The moment they ask, I get the chance to share about what is happening in that island. So that is like for me, like my personal life story that till I work, my main thing is मुझे ये कहानी बताना है बस.
तो ये कहानी रियल कहानी है.
हाँ, it's
That's
a
a
true story.
where is this island located?
It's called Midway Islands. ये आपका यूएस और जापान के एकदम बीच में है.
Oh,
In the Pacific. Hence, it's named the Midway. And there is no human existence. No human existence. तो अभी जहाँ पे इंसान है वहाँ पे कचरा है, ठीक है, चलिए अभी हम यूज करें. बट जहाँ पे इंसान भी नहीं है, इट्स सच अ नेचुरल ब्यूटीफुल प्लेस. वहाँ पे हजारों
पहुंच
लाखों
रहा है.
बर्ड्स हर साल मर रहे हैं. So yeah, means I saw images अभी भी है गूगल में, यूट्यूब में, of mother, like a mother feeding child plastic trash. And I was just questioning that, does the mother know that it's killing its own child, right? And who is responsible for all of this? The smartest intelligent species are making all of this, making this happen. And yeah, for me, my education and everything suddenly felt like,
useless.
useless.
It
Yeah,
is. Yes.
मतलब मैं क्या
True,
कर
true,
रहा हूँ ये
true.
सब करके.
True, true, true.
So yeah, so that day, in fact, it was on 5th June 2018. That day evening, I wrote an email to my supervisor that I'm done. Like, I don't know what is waste management, don't know what to do, but I know I want to do this.
Oh, so this happened in China.
No, no, no. I was in Guwahati
You're
at
in
that
Guwahati
time.
that
I was
time.
in
So this
Guwahati.
presentation, everything happened in Guwahati.
Yeah, yeah. So
Hmm.
वहाँ पे मैं एक प्रोजेक्ट स्टार्ट हुआ था एक, एंड दैट वहाँ पे क्या होता है कि प्रोजेक्ट टर्न्स इनटू अ पीएचडी, ऐसा होता है. क्योंकि डायरेक्टली पीएचडी मिला, मतलब आई डिड माय जीआरई टोफल वगैरह सब कुछ करने के बाद, सो आई वाज आल्सो अबाउट टू गो टू द यूएस एट दैट टाइम. कुछ यूनिवर्सिटी से मिला था, लाइक अपॉर्चुनिटीज. बट yeah, once I think this video made my life simpler. Like I had no confusions ki what I want to do in my life.
You found the cause after
Yeah,
watching.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right. So, what happened after that? So, you had this idea you want to do something in the area of waste
Right.
or getting rid of the plastic, and of course, there's a deeper philosophy out there that you want to uh, ensure that none of the species on the planet suffer,
Yeah.
right? And of course, the suffering, most of it is because of the human intervention, climate change.
Yes.
There's just so many factors. So at least that cause is what you want to eliminate.
Yes. Yes. That's the most primary thing.
Right.
So yeah. Please,
So how did you build your team? So how did you go about?
So that's interesting because मेरे लिए क्या है ना कि I did not know how to build a team or how to build a movement because I was in like I was a student of science and staying in a lab or just doing my work, like more of a personal journey, right? That I was taking, and suddenly I was like, suddenly I took a problem that I could not solve alone. I knew I might lead, but I need people, right? So the first struggle was that to understand that is anyone even concerned about it. Okay, one was my personal research, and the other was that to understand if anyone is interested also. So first initial few months were very frustrating because I kept on, though people have been littering for ages, but now after this I started observing more basically, and it started impacting me more what I was seeing around. And मुझे ऐसा लग रहा था, I felt very hopeless, in that entire thing. But at that time I saw the story of this guy Afroz Shine, who has been cleaning the beaches for years.
Yes.
So then I saw that, acha, matlab, he is a lawyer. He's not an environmentalist or a social worker, a lawyer who could have filed a case but took on a different step कि कम्युनिटी को लेकर आना है कि प्रॉब्लम हमने क्रिएट किया है, किसी ने और नहीं तो हमें ठीक करना है. एंड दैट narrative really sat on me कि don't blame, do something about it, right? So that's when I shifted to the fact, and one of my friends, his name is Milin, he also suggested that ऐसा एक प्रोग्राम ऑर्गेनाइज करो जहाँ पे लाइक माइंडेड पीपल कम टुगेदर. एंड अफरोज का वीडियो देखा तो इट वाज लाइक ब्रह्मपुत्र हमारे यहाँ से जाता है, उनके पास ओशन बीच है, तो मेरे यहाँ पे रिवर बैंक है, and it's equally littered and everything. So I was like, let's start. On a Christmas, 25th December 2018, my friend helped me create a social media post कि न्यू ईयर्स डे क्लीन अप करना है सुबह 8 बजे. एंड वी वर वेरी कंफ्यूज कि कौन आएगा न्यू ईयर्स डे को इतना सुबह. एंड देन 17 people joined us on that day, and I realized one thing over time, कि बहुत लोग कंप्लेन करते थे कि संडे सुबह को नहीं आना यार. बट आई रियलाइज दैट मुझे वही लोग चाहिए जिनके लिए संडे सुबह को ये काम करने का इम्पोर्टेंस समझ में आए. मैंने आई डोंट वांट people to feel convenient about it, to be honest. The fact that we have created an inconvenience for others, तो हमें आराम से नहीं कर सकते. So only those to whom it mattered कि मुझे संडे को सुबह उठ के आना है, I just needed them, that's it. And मैंने very organically, I think I met amazing people at the cleanup, and आज मेरे maximum team members are those people जिनको मैं accidentally river bank में मिला. So they are now part of the Midwayjourny team. So yeah.
So they are like full time into it, or everybody will probably have their own business or a job, and then they contribute to this journey. How is it?
So शुरू में हम लोग we were 7 people full time. Now we are 4 people, but we have 13 employees right now, because now अभी तो चलिए projects वगैरह आया है. शुरू में तो it was all voluntary, But the good part of it being voluntary was that हमें, this is funny also, हमें ये पता नहीं था कि क्लीन अप क्यों कर रहे थे. मन आया, ये दिखा. बाद में बहुत सारे NGOs या कुछ some well-to-do people called me and said that Shisendu, you are doing very good work. हमारा भी प्लान था कि हम लोग भी रिवर को क्लीन करेंगे. And I was like, that's great, but मैंने क्यों नहीं किया. तो उन्होंने बोला कि हमें फंड्स नहीं मिला. And that's when I realized कि मुझे रिवर क्लीन करने के लिए पैसे चाहिए. Because, and that's why I feel that less knowledge is bliss. कि हमें ये सब पता नहीं था कि ऑर्गेनाइजेशन बनाना है, एनजीओ करना है, फंड्स. वी वर लाइक, this should not happen. I don't want to see my city in tatters, right? I have to do something about it. Nothing has mattered. कि क्या पैसा चाहिए, क्या चाहिए था, मतलब ग्लव्स खरीदो, बूट्स पहनो, नीचे जाओ, उठाओ, that's it, right? And the community started joining in, and we never felt like we need money to do all of this.
So all the waste that you started collecting, what did you do with it?
Very interesting again. So हमारे लिए again less knowledge. तो हम क्या करते थे, हमें so municipality observed us doing all of this. काफी सारे लोग, तो municipality ने हमें कांटेक्ट किया कि do you want any support. तो हम लोग का क्या था कि क्या सपोर्ट करो, एक गाड़ी भेज दो, एक कचरा डाल देते हैं उसमें, क्योंकि कहाँ डालेंगे, क्या करेंगे, क्योंकि हर क्लीनअप में मान लीजिए 40 बस्ता, 50-60 sacks of garbage would come up, and we started putting it into the municipal vehicle. Over time, one of our team members questioned कि जा कहाँ रहा है, म्यूनिसिपल दे रहे, कहाँ जा रहा है. And then we started tracking it. We reached Dipor Bill. Dipor Bill is a place, our dump site. And that was a heartbreaking moment for us.
Dipor Bill is that lake, no? That huge lake when you come to the airport on the way over.
Yes, it's a beautiful lake, and it's the only Ramsar site of Assam. Only Ramsar site.
And that becomes a dumping ground.
That became 20 years back. So we have been dumping for 20 years now into that water.
Even now it continues.
Yeah. 6 lakh kgs per day is being disposed. Yeah.
So when you traced it to Dipor Bill, what happened?
So yeah, that was like a realization for us that we are shifting a problem from Brahmaputra to Dipor Bill. That's it, right? And I think with every battle, we challenged ourselves. Can we create a zero waste cleanup? हमें कहीं पे जीरो वेस्ट क्लीनअप दिखे नहीं वैसे इंडिया में. वी रिसर्च अ लॉट कि कहाँ पे क्या हो रहा है. एवरीवेयर दैट्स व्हाट वी फाउंड कि भाई ओशन से यहाँ से कलेक्ट करो, डिस्पोज करो, दैट्स इट, यू नो. बट आई डोंट नो अबाउट एवरी प्लेस, बट गुवाहाटी में वी वर श्योर दैट वी कैन नॉट लेट इट हैपन. हो सके तो क्लीनअप बंद कर दो, लेकिन ये नहीं करना है हमें. So that's when we challenged ourselves कि can we do a cleanup in a way that इसका waste हमें dispose करने का जरूरत ना हो. And yeah, means our lives changed while we started doing it, because you know how we changed it was that we started observing what we are collecting. कि चलिए इसमें प्लास्टिक है, कपड़ा है, ये है, वो है. एंड वी वेंट टू कबाड़ी वाला तब कि आप लोग क्या लेते हो. सो दे स्टार्टेड गिविंग अस अ लिस्ट ऑफ आइटम्स कि अगर आप ये चीज़ें हमें देते हो तो हम इसको रिसाइकलिंग की तरफ लेके जाएंगे. सो दैट वाज अ बिगिनिंग कि चलो ये लोग तो ले लेंगे, और हम लोग लोकल लोकल कबाड़ी वाला से ही कनेक्ट किए. इनफैक्ट हमारे साथ कबाड़ी वाला आए और कबाड़ी वाला क्लीनअप के बाद सेशन लेते थे लोगों के साथ.
The kabaddi wala used to teach people.
Yes.
Oh, it would have been a good eye opener for the people who are listening, and also a good maybe build that confidence and feel good
Exactly.
factor for the kabaddi walas.
Exactly, because there's
I
a
also
gap in the
matter.
society also ना कि they are looked down upon कि ये लोग चोर है, कुछ है, illegal काम करते हैं. So we also knew that human factor ना कि हमें वो नहीं पता जो इन्हें पता है, तो इनका knowledge से हमें पता चलेगा कि क्या करना है. तो and that also was building that bridging a social gap that we have with our waste workers also. So that was an amazing experiment that began, and every Sunday of cleanup we learned something new कि चलो बॉटल को अलग करना है, कैंस को अलग करना है, एल्यूमिनियम फॉइल्स, ग्लास बॉटल्स, एंड लॉट ऑफ आइटम्स. कार्टून्स मिले तो अलग कर दो. सो व्हाट वी स्टार्टेड डूइंग इज लोग आते थे क्लीनअप में पहले जैसे ही, लोग बढ़ने लगे विद टाइम. लोग आने के बाद वी यूज्ड टू मेक टीम्स, and each team would be given a space कि that is this area to that area, you clean there, other team there. Now in every team someone will collect plastic bottle, someone will collect full mala and everything, religious waste or all of compostable waste, someone will collect paper waste, someone will collect other like glass bottles, someone will be collecting metals. This happened in every team now. So what happened in now, every team would collect and empty it in a central location. So what we got was a segregated waste collection happening. Now there was a next team who would come after the cleanup ends. That's a washing team. So they would come and wash and dry the items.
And these are all volunteers.
All volunteers.
How many people were there when?
Every Sunday close to 70-80 people.
Not bad.
Yeah. So the second team would come. We had a shaded area under the tree. We would take water from the river itself, start cleaning all the stuff. It was soil and all. And so then we would dry it. Then there was this ferry service of the government, no? So they gave us space to store. Kyunki it doesn't dry so easily, it takes some time. So we would store for 3-4 days in under the sun. And then the kabari wala would come and take it. So धीरे धीरे the waste that we were giving out to the municipality or to the dustbin reduced by close to 60 to 70%. Okay, क्योंकि everything cannot be recycled, like there is still it's contaminated waste after. We would got injection, sanitary waste, उसका क्या ही करें हम लोग. So those would go for the landfill, but a lot of it would go for recycling, and people got educated. हमारा cleanups बदल गए into community educative sessions on waste management, so, and that was a lovely transition that we had. And we would work for every Sunday until the monsoon would come. Every Sunday from the winters till the monsoon, every Sunday we would continue, document हर Sunday को कितना kg हम खाली कर रहे हैं, मतलब segregate and recover कर रहे हैं and all of that. So that's how things transformed, and we got a new model of cleanup. And with that, many organizations across the country, after seeing our efforts, approached us कि कैसे बदल सकते हैं, कैसे हमें डंप रिड्यूस कर सकते हैं. So yeah, that was like
You've are those efforts still on? Does it happen every Sunday?
So no, now it's not happening, because now other teams are doing all of that, and we are now supporting the municipality like we did yesterday.
So the efforts are on, but it's not you. It's somebody else has taken that over.
Yeah. So we have now trained more teams in the city who like more young people who can do it, because we have taken other projects now with the cities and villages. So, but yeah, the entire thing is, another unfortunate incident is that now the government has destroyed the entire riverbank also as a riverfront development project. So we have in fact lost that area also completely where we started the entire journey. So it's no more.
Yeah, I
So
think they've cut the trees. A lot of old trees have cut. I
huge
was
number of
there.
trees. It's Ujan Bazaar
Yeah.
area. So yeah, huge number of trees have been cut down and it has been concretized now. So it's unfortunate.
Do you think that's going to impact the flooding situation because no trees? So, will that increase the floods? Will it have any
See, in
impact?
urban areas, a lot of things depends more on drainage,
Uh,
because अगर drainage ठीक है, अगर there is no solid waste and it's clean and all of that, फिर भी ठीक रहता है. But it's going to affect in multiple ways. Like when we go into understanding ecosystems and all, कि एक ऐसे concrete हम खड़ा नहीं कर सकते. River bed has to be like slanted at an acute angles. इसको ऐसे खड़ा करना is bad for the river and the river, the species inside the river. And another thing is that was a, we call as urban commons. There was no gated thing, कोई टिकट नहीं था. तो हमारे क्लीनअप में there was nothing like अमीरों के लिए नहीं था वो. It was like for anyone would come. But now we have gardens here, scented gardens so called. People cannot go in for free. So ये जो river bank था, it was for the citizens, open. If you talk about the mental health and well-being of people, कितने लोग वहाँ पे जाके ऐसे ही बैठे रहते थे, just take the air and all. अभी that's not possible anymore. So yeah, I feel that we should leave certain parts, the way it is and let it be.
right.
Yeah.
So now, these projects. What are these projects that you're working on right now?
Yeah. So एक है कि we are working in developing holistic waste management systems in protected areas. जैसे कि आपका national parks, wildlife sanctuaries है. We are working in those areas क्योंकि we did a study. We just completed a study of 6 months, and it was again a very shocking thing for us to see how waste, wildlife, and traditional practices of communities are interrelated. हम वेस्ट को बहुत अलग से देखते हैं कि चलो कचरा कर रहे हैं, फेंक रहे हैं, उसको मैनेज करना है, कंपोस्ट करना है, रिसाइकिल करना है. बट हमें अभी ये देखा कि हम जितने ट्राइबल कम्युनिटीज के साथ काम कर रहे हैं, कुछ कुछ कम्युनिटीज दे आर वेरी ग्राउंडेड विद देयर ओन वैल्यूज. एंड कुछ कुछ जगह में ऑफकोर्स बिकॉज ऑफ एफएमसीजी गुड्स कमिंग इन एंड मेनी थिंग्स ऑफ ग्लोबलाइजेशन नाउ, they are becoming like cities, losing their own cultural values. And there is a very strange thing that we see, that wherever there is more garbage in a rural setup, there is more degradation of their own cultural values, we find. So we for the first time realized that the amount of waste you see is directly related to the kind of people you find over there, to the kind of identities they relate to, because they don't relate to any identity. They're like uniform. वही जीन्स पहन के टी शर्ट पहन के, मैंने
They've
सॉरी टू
lost
से
the
लाइक
essence.
दैट,
No,
बट
no, that's true. They've lost
या
the essence of
मैंने
their
जो
own.
उनका अपना ट्रेडिशनल फूड है, ट्रेडिशनल क्लोथ्स है, now that doesn't matter anymore. It's a fast paced life. So this was a new finding for us. Secondly, the amount of waste that is littered, it attracts wildlife because of the salt content in the packaging that's draws. So हमने ये भी देखा कि ये जो communities who are littering in their own villages, maybe the population is less, but the impact on them is much more. Because मैं अगर गुवाहाटी में 2 चिप्स का पैकेट फेंकूं, I don't have elephants and deers or tigers around who will come, उसको सूख के सामने नहीं आएगा. बट यही काम अगर मैं गांव में करता हूँ, आई एम रिस्किंग माई लाइफ इन अ वे.
Oh,
या सो अभी हम लोग जैसे जिस नेशनल पार्क मानस के सामने काम करें, मानस नेशनल पार्क का क्या ना, इट्स लाइक अ जुरासिक पार्क काइंड ऑफ, लाइक देयर इज नो बफर जोन. ये जंगल खत्म हुआ, ये रास्ता 3 मीटर, उसके बाद रिजॉर्ट, दैट्स इट. अभी रिजॉर्ट में आपका इतने लोग आ रहे हैं, देयर इज अ लॉट ऑफ फूड वेस्ट एंड ऑल. दे ओनली कंप्लेन कि वाइल्ड बोर्ड्स कम इन, these and that animals are coming in, please help us manage the wet waste, because that's what is pulling animals, right? And there's the animal human interactions happening, right?
and also conflict.
Conflict. सो इसलिए हमारा अभी ये समझ में आया कि किसी भी वाइल्ड लाइफ एरियाज में वेस्ट मैनेज करना बहुत ज़्यादा प्रायोरिटी है. And another thing we observed was inside national park we found garbage. That was like heartbreaking for us.
Yeah, I saw that
And
report.
yeah, and animal excreta में हमें waste मिला inside. So it means they're consuming it from somewhere, right? अभी देखिए हमें birds दिखा, peacocks in Manas. Peacocks, I mean, you cannot put a barrier for animals, okay? They don't understand your national park boundaries, right? So peacocks flying में वहाँ पे तो आपका live wires है, fencing है for protection and all, but you see birds coming out and picking up things, littered things and all. And we ourselves saw a peacock taking a polythene bag inside. Now हम इंसान को तो गेट में चेक कर सकते हैं, अब एनिमल्स को क्या करेंगे आप?
Right. Maybe they are taken for the nest or I don't know
Exactly.
what. Yeah.
Nest and all of that stuff. So it's entering. So we cannot say that हम security को tight कर देंगे लोगों. मैंने it's very interconnected issues we realized. मैंने it's not a silos कि अंदर में मेरा SOPs है, यहाँ पे कोई नहीं जा सकता और बाहर में कुछ भी होता है, मैं कुछ नहीं कर सकता. It's affecting the inside, and deep inside the forest we saw. I have photos of elephant excreta with waste, plastic waste inside it. राइट. जहाँ पे आपका प्रोटेक्टेड एरियाज का जहाँ पे बाउंड्री नहीं है वहाँ पे तो वाइल्ड एनिमल्स आर आल्सो गोइंग इनटू द ह्यूमन हैबिटेशन एरियाज. एंड ह्यूमन हैबिटेशन एरियाज मतलब आपको वेस्ट लिटर्ड मिलेगा. तो नेशनल पार्क या सेंचुरीज के अंदर शायद लोग लिटर नहीं कर रहे, फिर भी एनिमल्स लेके जा रहे हैं ना अंदर. So ultimately, the responsibility of managing waste, specifically in these areas, also understanding क्या items ये सब गांव में आना चाहिए, needs to be controlled. गांव के नाम पे sachets भेजा जा रहा है, गरीब है 1 रुपये का चीज भेजो, 2 रुपये का चीज भेजो. So you are increasing the amount of garbage being created in villages.
Yes.
By all of these designs,
वो CK प्रहलाद का मॉडल जो है which was hailed as bottom of pyramid,
Yeah.
how you increase your revenue by working in volumes. That's good for consumerism. Maybe it's generating so-called wealth, but it's destroying the real wealth.
Yeah. And see, ultimately the government is earning revenue from tourism, right? If we are doing something wrong to the forest, we are destroying our own money. If I just talk financially
Yes,
also,
yes. Long term.
we are not understanding it today, but we are actually affecting the revenue directly by doing all of this.
So what are the various projects that you're working on right now?
Yeah, so I was saying about few work in the protected areas that we are doing. One, developing waste management systems or circular economy systems where waste is reduced as well as managed, and livelihood generation needs to happen. People needs to be economically benefited for all of this, right? That is one we are doing. Second we are doing is developing a curriculum with a private school. It's called green curriculum, where we are going beyond waste. We are talking about biodiversity, climate change, the soil, the air, and everything, and directly working with students, right? That is one thing we are doing. Third is we also do waste management for events. Today in the name of tourism and all, we have a lot of events in very eco-sensitive areas, and all we do is try to say that you enjoy, but at least don't impact the area negatively. So we join hands with many organizers and support them to ensure that the waste is managed, waste is reduced to begin with. We have a lot of design work going on. 2 महीने पहले से प्लानिंग शुरू हो जाता है, प्लानिंग मीटिंग्स एंड ऑल, कि बॉटल्स अलाउ नहीं करना है, इको फ्रेंडली मटेरियल से हमें स्टेज हो स्टॉल्स को डिजाइन करना है, ऑल ऑफ दैट गोज इन. क्या क्या टाइप ऑफ पेंट यूज करना है, ऑल ऑफ दैट work basically.
So while I was traveling, I saw a lot of events happening. I mean, every valley will have its own valley festival, Zero Valley Festival, some valley festival, and then they all say that they are like, eco-friendly, and say, what's the truth in this? Because honestly, when okay, well, I'll give my personal observation. Like, so when I was in Zero, and this was a few days before Zero Valley Festival, and I was speaking to the people. So yeah, the stage is out of bamboo, everything probably within that premises. But the tourists who come, they would buy all kinds of packet stuff and litter the entire uh, valley, the entire zero valley and go, only that place probably will be to an extent zero waste. So
Yes,
that really
yes.
doesn't help.
Doesn't help at
So I
all.
don't know what your observations are.
So, especially if you're asking about this Zero Music Festival, so one of our friends, she did a good study or, kind of observed what happens after the event gets over. And she made a big report about that. In fact, submitted it to the organizers. But yeah, no steps taken till date. So, as of now, I have not heard of any event in the Northeast जो एक्चुअली में वेस्ट मैनेज कर रहे हैं अभी, क्योंकि दिखावा बहुत होता है कि वेस्ट मैनेजमेंट, क्योंकि हमने खुद किया है, हमने माजुली म्यूजिक फेस्टिवल के साथ काम किया है, रिवर बैंक सिलानोई फेस्टिवल के साथ काम किया है, काफ़ी रिकवरी हुआ है. बट इफ़ यू आस्क मी कि ओ आपके वजह से क्या वेस्ट जनरेट नहीं हुआ या कुछ भी डंप नहीं करना पड़ा, आई से नो. मैंने हम लोग 100% सक्सेस नहीं हो पाते, क्योंकि क्या है कि जो ऑर्गेनाइज कर रहे हैं ना उनका वो मोटिव ही नहीं है द वेरी फर्स्ट प्लेस. यू कैन जस्ट हायर ए टीम एंड पुश देम कि आपका ड्यूटी है करना. ये है एक कंबाइंड विजन होना जरूरी है. मान लो इफ यू आर ऑर्गेनाइजिंग एन इवेंट एंड यू आर रियली हार्डकोर इनटू इट कि मुझे करना है बट सस्टेनेबल होना जरूरी है, नहीं तो मैं नहीं करूंगा. तो उसके बाद अगर आप होता है कि आपको नहीं पता तो आप एक ऑर्गेनाइजेशन को साथ में लो तो बनता है. लेकिन लोग क्यों कर रहे हैं, टू बी वेरी ऑनेस्ट, there are many funding agencies who wants to fund for events if it is eco-friendly or branded eco-friendly.
So it's greenwashing.
It's greenwashing. So उसके नाम के लिए क्या करना पड़ेगा, आपका इवेंट है तो आपको एक वेस्ट मैनेजमेंट पार्टनर लेना पड़ेगा, आपको एक सस्टेनेबिलिटी पार्टनर लेके दिखाना पड़ेगा कि भाई मैं ले रहा हूँ, मैं कर रहा हूँ, रिपोर्ट में ये सब जाएगा, राइट. बट आई कैन मैंने आई कैन चैलेंज दैट, अगर हम ना हर एक इवेंट के लिए एक एक इंस्पेक्शन टीम बिठाते हैं ना, वॉलेंटरी हो जो भी हो, यू विल सी द रियलिटी. Yes, I'll say in South India, I think कुछ अच्छा काम हो रहा है. Some people, organization like Sahas, Hasiruddallah, they're मैंने like we really look up to such organizations जो बहुत सालों पहले से वेस्ट पे काम कर रहे हैं, और वो लोग के वहाँ पे एक कल्चरल चेंज आए. Like it's not a sudden hero game, super hero waste manage करना, it is a cultural thing of the people. वहाँ पे जो वो लोग काम कर रहे हैं क्योंकि उनका इंस्पेक्शन वगैरह काफ़ी स्ट्रिक्ट है. And I feel that they are doing it. Though I have not been to those events, but I know the people, like their friends who work, so उनसे सुनता हूँ. So I feel काफ़ी अच्छा काम वहाँ पे हो रहा है. And I hope, इसलिए मुझे ये आशा है कि शायद धीरे धीरे कल्चरली इट टेक्स टाइम, बट यहाँ पे शायद वो आएगा. बट इसके लिए हमारे टूरिज्म डिपार्टमेंट और बहुत लोगों को ना वो बहुत स्ट्रिक्टली लाना पड़ेगा कि आप अगर इवेंट कर रहे हो अरुणाचल में, मणिपुर में, नागालैंड में करो, लेकिन ये मुझे चाहिए कि इसमें आप कचरा नहीं कर सकते, ये नहीं कर सकते, और पेनलाइज करना चाहिए. पीपल शुड बी, द ऑर्गेनाइजर्स शुड बी पेनलाइज्ड, द विलेजर्स शुड नॉट, आई थिंक, अलाउ दिस ऑर्गेनाइजर्स हुएवर दे मे बी. बिकॉज वही है कि मैं आपके घर में एक दिन के लिए आया, कचरा करके चला गया, मैं पार्टी किया, शोर शराबा किया, लेकिन यू हैव टू डील विथ योर ओन होम, राइट. जीरो के विलेजर्स को जीरो का जीरो देखना है. आफ्टर जीरो का वो टूरिस्ट तो 3 दिन आके निकल गए एंजॉय करके 3-4 दिन, बट what it's
So this
causing to
is
the
where I
village.
think a lot of efforts will come in, so that the locals, they start appreciating what they have and
Yes.
are ready to defend what they have
Yes.
against all these temporary tourists who come and spoil. So I think वो awareness लाना बहुत ज़रूरी है, which I think is lacking.
Yes.
Currently what's happening is all these villagers and the locals, they get carried away by all the people who come from the city.
Yeah, yeah.
Arey, yes sir, what do you want sir, and then get the money, and then they don't understand what's the long term, what's happening. So that kind of awareness sessions, education is very important.
इसके लिए ना हम लोग क्या करते हैं, मतलब हम लोग जब रूरल में काम करते हैं हमारा स्ट्रैटेजी बहुत अलग होता है. लोग बुलाते हैं अवेयरनेस दो, लेकिन हम लोग सिखाने नहीं जाते, हम लोग सीखने जाते हैं. टू बी वेरी ऑनेस्ट, व्हेन इट कम्स टू विलेजेस, बिकॉज विलेजेस में आज भी वो वैल्यूज है जो शहर में नहीं है. जैसे आई एम बॉर्न एंड ब्रॉट अप इन अ सिटी, सो मेरा डिस्कनेक्ट ज़्यादा है कंपेयर टू अ विलेज. और मैं आज भी जो मे बी वट एवर आई डू इट्स स्टिल मोर थियरी, कमिंग फ्रॉम अ स्पेस ऑफ एंगर, फ्रस्ट्रेशन कि ये क्यों हो रहा है, ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए. विलेजेस में ना ये नेचुरल, इट्स अ वे ऑफ लाइफ. it's not, there's no anger for that, there is, that is the way they live. आई कांट जनरलाइज इट, बट आज भी नॉर्थ ईस्ट में बोलूंगा बहुत जगह में आज भी ऐसा है. सो ऐसे जगह को ना हमें कुछ सिखाने का नहीं है, हमारा काम है उनको ये समझाना कि जो आपके पास है वो प्राइसलेस है, ठीक है, और हम आपसे सीखना चाहते हैं. इसलिए आज मैंने वी वर्क विद एन ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, अमेजिंग ऑर्गेनाइजेशन को ग्रीन हब फ्रॉम तेजपुर. तो उनके साथ जब हम प्रोग्राम्स करते हैं विद रूरल कम्युनिटीज, दिस इज अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग जो मानस रायमोना में भी हम कर रहे हैं, कि द नैरेटिव इज दिस, वी आर नो वन टू टीच यू.
Great.
Yeah.
So this is one project where you do waste management for events, then of course
Yes.
work with the villagers and
Yes.
educate them. What are the other things that you work on?
एक अभी हम काम शुरू किए कि वर्किंग विद राइट्स ऑफ वेस्ट वर्कर्स, वेस्ट पिकर्स एंड एवरीथिंग. बिकॉज बात ये है कि वो हम बर्ड्स वर्ड्स का उसका स्टोमक का तो सोचते हैं जो लेकिन जो वो बहुत लोगों को दिखता नहीं है वो रियलिटीज, लेकिन जो रियलिटी दिखता है हमें हर रोज, पीपल कमिंग टेकिंग आवर वेस्ट, कभी हाथ में ग्लव्स नहीं है, पैर में बूट्स नहीं है, हाथ कटा हुआ, इंजेक्शन घुस जाता है, ब्लेड्स लग जाता है, वो देखने के बाद भी हमें लगता है कि सोसाइटी इज सो इंडिफरेंट. सो इफ आई हैव टू बी, इफ आई हैव टू बिल्ड कंपैशन टुवर्ड्स वाइल्ड लाइफ एंड एनिमल्स, पहले तो मुझे लोगों के साथ कंपैशन बिल्ड करना है, दोज हु आर वर्किंग डे एंड नाइट ऑन वेस्ट, राइट. And hence this has been a realization over time for us. And as I have told you already that हमारा जो आज नॉलेज है वो काफ़ी ज़्यादा हुआ है बिकॉज ऑफ द वेस्ट वर्कर्स, द कबारी, द वेस्ट पिकर्स, उनसे हमने सीखा है बहुत सारी चीज़ें. सो वी आर ट्राइंग टू ब्रिंग देम टू द फोर फ्रंट. हाउ? फर्स्ट इज प्रोवाइडिंग देम ID कार्ड्स. लाइक ये चोर नहीं है, फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल जो लोग सोचते रहते, इनका ऑक्यूपेशनल ID कार्ड्स हम लाने का कोशिश कर रहे हैं.
Issued by whom?
सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट. सो अभी सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट रिसेंटली जून महीने में एक नया स्कीम लॉन्च किया, इट्स कॉल्ड नमस्ते स्कीम. पहले सिर्फ सैनिटेशन वर्कर्स के लिए थे, अभी वेस्ट वर्कर्स आर आल्सो इन्वॉल्व इन इट. सो अभी इनको वो एस्टैब्लिश, मतलब अभी उनको रजिस्टर करना पड़ेगा, वो करना पड़ेगा, बैंक अकाउंट्स खोलना है उनका, अ लॉट ऑफ वर्क हैज टू बी डन. सो वो हम करना चाहते हैं, और उनके साथ उनका कैपेसिटी बिल्डिंग, मान लीजिए उनका लीडरशिप स्किल्स, बिजनेस स्किल्स, because they are born entrepreneurs, waste workers, ये लोग, they don't take funds or grants, yet they run sustainably. So बहुत सीखना है एक्चुअली उनसे, बहुत सीखने का चीज़ें हैं. So all we want is to bring more transparency उनके साथ, चाइल्ड लेबर ना हो उनमें, बच्चे को पढ़ाई करने का मौका मिले. बेसिकली आवर वर्क, आवर आइडिया इज, हमें उनका काम नहीं करना है, उनका जो काम, जो डिग्निटी है, उनको सोसाइटी के सामने लाना है, सोसाइटी और वेस्ट वर्कर्स को ब्रिज करना है गैप को. सेकेंडली उनका जो लिविंग कंडीशंस को बेटर करना है, कि ये जो लोन लिया जाता है उनको हाई इंटरेस्ट रेट में, व्हाई, हाउ कैन वी सपोर्ट देम फ्रॉम द सोसाइटी, और कलेक्टिवाइजिंग देम. मान लीजिए अगर हम उनका एक SHG बनाते हैं, सो दे कैन टेक लोन विद वेरी लेस इंटरेस्ट रेट, उससे आप मशीन्स खरीदो, बेलर खरीदो, दूसरी जगह से वेस्ट ले लो, सेग्रीगेशन सैलरीज लो. सो हम लोग धीरे धीरे उनको ये फॉर्मलाइज सिस्टम में मदद करना चाहते हैं.
Yeah, we integrate them in the
Formalized
mainstream, yeah,
Mainstream
formal,
system.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
So that's one more type of project that you're working on.
Yes.
So how are you scaling up your operations? Because I see that you started in Gauwathi.
Yeah.
Now I was there in Sangati. Itisha's doing a lot of work there. Then I believe Zimithang mein also you
Zimithang.
tried. So like what are the other areas where these kind of projects are happening?
सो अभी तो एज आई टोल्ड यू, आसाम में 2 जगह में हो रहा है, एंड वी आर सपोर्टिंग बोथ इतिशास प्रोजेक्ट एंड जमिथांग प्रोजेक्ट. सो इतिशा के प्रोजेक्ट में भी वी आर एसोसिएटेड इन अ वे इन सांगती प्रोजेक्ट, लाइक विद द कंस्ट्रक्शन ऑफ अ फैसिलिटी एंड ऑल ऑफ वो सब डिजाइन में आवर टीम इज वर्किंग विद इतिशास टीम ऑन दैट. एंड जमिथांग में भी सिस्टम बिल्डअप कर रहे हैं. आवर अभी के लिए व्हेन यू सिंग हाउ आर वी स्केलिंग अप, इज वी आर बिल्डिंग लीडर्स राइट नाउ, दैट इज आवर फोकस, कि नॉर्थ ईस्ट में हमें और कैपेबल यूथ खड़े करने हैं जिनको ये स्किल आना चाहिए. क्योंकि वन माइट गो टू IITs and IIMs, बट दीज आर नॉट टॉट एनीवेयर दिस स्किल्स, राइट. तो इसलिए हमारे पास जब भी बच्चे आते हैं, बीट ग्रेजुएट, पोस्ट ग्रेजुएट, PhD, हम एक ही जगह से शुरू करते हैं सबके साथ, क्योंकि डजेंट मैटर आपने क्या पढ़ाई किया हो, ये ग्राउंड वर्क मैक्सिमम लोगों को पता ही नहीं है चीज़ें. So, but good is that now we have a team who like we have project coordinators first of all कि हर एक site में ना हमारा team से एक रहता है, and then we also have people from the community, we call as community mobilizers. So that is one structure, and there is a team in Guwahati as a core team, or we are like program managers, or design team from here. So there is this, hierarchy that we have formed, and we are training more individuals. जब भी हमारा ये सब साइट में काम होता है तो हम इंटर्न्स को बुलाते हैं और भी लोगों को बुलाते हैं कि while they are studying उनको एक स्किल बिल्डिंग हो, ताकि after study they can apply for jobs with us or with any other organizations working in the waste sector.
Okay,
So yeah.
that's interesting. So now, uh, I want to know. So you have these recycling plants, right? How many of them you have? I, mean, I went to one in Lal Ganesh, but are there more, or that's the only one?
So हम जो खुद चलाते हैं वो एक ही है, and we don't call it as a recycling facility, we call it as an aggregation center.
Oh, you aggregate and segregate. Two things
we
happen there.
we bring materials, clean dry materials from people's home, and that is sorted into 75 categories in our facility, and then we are channelizing it to recyclers.
They buy it from you.
Yeah.
So that's how you build revenue, at least to sustain the operations.
Yeah, we have to pay the salaries, pay the rents, and electricity. Yeah, so with that,
But I saw some unit out there where they are kind of shredding the entire waste to pieces, and then the final product is some kind of plastic sheet.
sheets. So that is that in the same campus where we are working in Guwahati, there is also a plastic recycling unit. So we are not running it, but it's in collaboration. So we support them in improving the conditions of working, and getting some funding and all of that. That we do, but otherwise we don't run that facility in a way. And if from our aggregation center, whatever be the waste coming out, the kind of raw materials that they take, this facility, it's called Shri Guru Plastics, we give it to them. क्योंकि हमारा भी एडवांटेज है कि मेरा ट्रांसपोर्टेशन कॉस्ट इज जीरो, मुझे इस रूम से उस रूम में देना पड़ता है, बाहर में जाऊंगा तो आई हैव टू स्पेंड मोर मनी इनटू दैट, राइट? सो इट हेल्प्स अ लॉट. But
So at some point, do you plan to like vertically integrate? Like you go ahead and then also start your own recycling. So not just segregate, but also take that segregated waste and do something yourself with it.
yeah, we have seen two visions, huh? दो vision है, and it's big, but because you're asking, I'm sharing that. एक है कि हमें धीरे धीरे ये समझ में आ रहा है कि वेस्ट में काम करके सिर्फ लाभ नहीं होगा, क्योंकि it's about a material, not waste. A material turns to waste after usage, right? It is not a waste, it's not born as a waste. So we realize that there is a different process. There is extraction happening of natural resources, then processing of it, then marketing it, then usage, then disposal. There's an entire scene, and we want to build, you can say, resource consciousness in people, respect for what we have. नॉट जस्ट कि कचरा कर लो उसके बाद रिसाइकल होगा कि क्या होगा, दैट इज लाइक एंड ऑफ द गेम. वो करने से वी कैन नॉट सर्वाइव.
Yeah, just because it is recyclable doesn't give you a license to keep
Exactly
throwing. And
हाँ,
yeah,
because a plastic bottle is recyclable, I don't have to carry my bottle, I just buy one more because वो कोई लेके जाएगा. That's not good, because and that's not the truth. Scientifically भी वो सही बात नहीं है. So हम अभी धीरे धीरे जो कोशिश कर रहे हैं ना कि अपना स्किल को पहले कैपेसिटीज बिल्ड कर रहे हैं, वी ऑल्सो ट्राइंग टू बिल्ड इनटू एडवोकेसी, इनटू मोर रिसर्च, into understanding materials, and also working with communities to share this knowledge. We are talking about fast fashion, suppose कि भाई हम नया कपड़ा नहीं खरीदेंगे, जो है उसको यूज करेंगे, थिंकिंग दैट इट इज सस्टेनेबल. बट हम एक बार कभी बात करते, कभी हम अपने कपड़े को छू के देखें हैं क्या? डू वी रियली केयर फॉर व्हाट वी आर वेयरिंग? नाउ आई एम वेयरिंग दिस, मैं घर में गया, बस इसको खोला, फेंक दिया कहीं पे, मैं घर का कपड़ा पहन लिया, और कल मैं फिर से ये पहन के और इसको 4-5 दिन पहन के मैं बोल रहा मैं सस्टेनेबल हूँ. आई थिंक दैट्स नॉट गुड, दैट्स नॉट राइट इन अ वे. The fact of sustainability is, if my cloth has to run for long, it has to be cared for little bit. मैं इसको ठीक से रखना है, ऐसे से फेंक नहीं सकता मैं उसे. It has to be cared for, and same for any materials that we see. सो आज हमारे मैंने लाइफ में फास्ट पेस लाइफ में वो नहीं है, वो केयर एंड कंसर्न फॉर वट एवर थिंग्स मैंने, बिकॉज दिस आर लाइफलेस थिंग्स वी फील. बट इफ वी सी द साइकिल, नो, लाइक कपड़े के बारे में अगर हमें पता है कि बांग्लादेश में कैसे ये स्वेट शॉप्स हम बोलते कैसे आ रहा है कपड़ा, किस स्थिति में लोग काम कर रहे हैं, मैंने आई थिंक देन लोग चौक जाते हैं कि मैंने आई आई डोंट वांट टू सपोर्ट दिस सिस्टम ऑन ग्राउंड. जब हमें प्लास्टिक का आसाम में जो हमारा ऑयल का वो एक्सप्लोड हुआ, बगजान ऑयल, फॉर मंथ्स इट बर्न्ड, राइट, वन ऑफ द आई थिंक वर्ल्ड्स बिगेस्ट मैंने इवेंट, आई थिंक ऑयल ब्लो आउट हुआ,
Catastrophe.
कैटास्ट्रॉफी. And I think that is a raw material for plastics, right? And we have to understand that plastic doesn't become a problem when it is a polythene or a bottle. It problem is there, right? When that oil is pumped out and being made into certain things, unknown chemicals are being added जो सरकार को पता नहीं, environment agencies को पता नहीं, और हमारे daily life में आ रहा है. So our vision, as you were asking about recycling, our vision is firstly to expand on what field we are working. We want to go beyond waste management.
Right. So this is where I think those 5 R's come in. No, refuse, repurpose, reduce, recycle, reuse. Normally, reduce, recycle, reuse, everybody does.
मैंने recycle आपका last में आता है.
Correct. Actually,
Not
yes.
finding any other option.
Yes.
Now you recycle, but
First, it has to be refuse. Refuse
Yes.
is the most powerful. I don't want to get it in the system at all.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Now, the next question is a little more technical. So, in the sense, like you have all these waste coming in and you segregate it into different categories. So, I never knew. I mean, there are like 75 categories. I'm sure there are a little more also. Like, probably you can classify it. So, what happens? Like, so once you segregate, what kind of a waste goes to what kind of a recycling? I mean, you have glass. So, within the glass, then you, of course, you have e-waste, you have different types of plastics. So, what happens to each category of the waste? Where does it go? And it's a little longer question. So there probably will be some part which you can do nothing about it.
Yes.
Right. So what do you do with that?
Very nice. So the first part of it, what we are doing is that अभी हमारे जो existing channels हैं हमारे यहाँ पे, एक channel क्या है कि everything cannot, we don't have the technology to recycle everything in Guwahati or in Assam. तो हमें बाहर भेजना पड़ेगा. बाहर भेजने के लिए हमें ट्रक्स में भेजना है. ट्रक्स का एक ट्रक में आपको 6-7 टन 7,000 kgs ऑफ वेस्ट को भराना पड़ेगा. अभी मेरे फैसिलिटी में ना जगह ही नहीं है कि आई स्टोर 6-7 टन. सो व्हाट आई डू इज आई पार्टनर विथ बिग स्क्रैप डीलर्स, यू नो, बिग ट्रेडर्स जो दिल्ली कोलकाता वहाँ पे भेज रहे हैं ट्रेडर्स. तो हम लोग उनके साथ पार्टनर करते हैं और उनका ट्रक में हमारा वेस्ट भी जाता है. दैट इज द फर्स्ट पार्ट ऑफ इट. सेकेंड इज वी ऑलवेज फोकस ऑन लोकल एंटरप्रेन्योर्स. जो भी चीज लोकली रिसाइकल हो रहा है वी ऑलवेज गिव इट टू देम. इनफैक्ट वी ऑल्सो हैव कनेक्शन विद लोकल रिपेयरिंग सेंटर्स. हर चीज वेस्ट नहीं है, कुछ चीज रिपेयर भी हो सकता है, तो हम उनको दे देते हैं रिपेयरिंग में. और so you were saying plastic, I told you a lot of some percentage of our plastic, like 10 to 11% goes to Shri Guru Plastics. When it comes to e-waste, now electronic waste is a very dicey thing कि e-waste को हम informal sector को नहीं दे सकते, बिकॉज क्या है ना, अंदर में आपका कॉपर सिल्वर सब कुछ है, कॉस्टली आइटम्स. बाहर में प्लास्टिक, वायर ले लो आप, लैपटॉप मोबाइल सब प्लास्टिक. एंड प्लास्टिक इज चीप, इतना पैसा नहीं है उसमें. तो लोग क्या करते हैं, इसको जला देते हैं, because the plastic burns and you get all your aluminum and all of that. So now this is a very polluting way of recycling. And the PCBs that we have, my friend Itisha, she explained, उससे पता चला कि PCBs are very polluting, PCB recycling. तो तब हमने डिसाइड किया कि हम इसको, ये सब कबाड़ी को नहीं दे सकते. उनका एडवांटेज तो है लेकिन उनका हेल्थ में जो गुजर रहा है, we cannot just agree. So we started looking at CPCB certified parties. सो हम अभी एक CPCB सर्टिफाइड डीलर के साथ काम कर रहे हैं जो हमारा फैसिलिटी से वेस्ट, आई मीन ई वेस्ट को लेके जाते हैं. एंड दे आर टेकिंग इट टू फरीदाबाद एंड सम मोर, एंड कुछ कुछ तो विदेश जा रहे हैं जो इंडिया इज अनएबल टू हैंडल, स्पेशली लाइक PCBs, राइट. बट आवर सेटिस्फैक्शन इज एथिकल हैंडलिंग. अब रिसाइकल करते वक्त और ज़्यादा पोल्यूट ना करो एनवायरमेंट को इन द नेम ऑफ रिसाइकलिंग, which e-waste में बहुत होता है. So we have different partners. We have a different partner for metal waste, local, who is doing it. सो वही मतलब हमारा पार्टनर्स चुनने में एक चीज होता है कि हम कितना लोकल प्लेयर्स के साथ बेनिफिट कर सकते हैं उनका, ताकि द ट्रस्ट बिल्ड्स, यू नो। एंड सेकेंडली जो नहीं हो पाता है वो तो बाहर भेजते हैं.
So now there's aggregation happening at your site. How do you aggregate it? Like, so who are the people who would give you that waste, and how do you motivate them to give it to you and not just dump it somewhere?
Okay. So this mainly happened because of the cleanup drive. It all started from cleanup drive. जब लोगों को वो समझ में आएगा ना सेग्रीगेट करना है चीज़ें, तभी तो दीपोर बिल नहीं जाएगा वो चीज़. तो वो नॉलेज वहाँ से शुरू हुआ. जब कोविड का लॉकडाउन हुआ तब हमने कैंपेन शुरू किया था कॉल्ड पावर ऑफ 300. सो द देन म्यूनिसिपल कमिश्नर जो थे, हम उनके पास गए कि सर पेनलाइज क्यों नहीं करते हम लोग, लेट्स डू इट सेग्रीगेशन, लेट्स नॉर्मलाइज सेग्रीगेशन ऑन हाउस होल्ड. ही टोल्ड दैट अगर हमें ये करना है तो मेरा ट्रांसफर हो जाएगा यहाँ से. ओके. सो तब हमारे टीम को ये लगा कि हमारा तो कोई ट्रांसफर नहीं है, सो अगर सर को करने के लिए पॉसिबल नहीं तो हम करते हैं. एंड वही होता है यंग ब्लड, जिद. तो हमारा सोचते हैं कि बहुत लोग बोलते हैं कि आसाम मीन्स लाहे लाहे, कि यहाँ पे कुछ चीज़ें होता नहीं है. वी वांटेड टू प्रूव इट रॉन्ग दैट दैट्स नॉट ट्रू. We will ensure a team of 300 citizens who will start segregating waste at source, even without any policies from the urban local body. क्योंकि if people don't take drugs, it's not because someone has to teach you to not take it. It's your basic values. You know that is not right. Similarly, waste management has to happen. हर चीज penalize करके policy बना के जब होगा होगा, when government will do, but we cannot wait till then. So our idea was, I want to show that power that even if there are no systems, citizens will stand for it. So that's when we started Power of 300 and we started campaigning during COVID, webinars every weekend. Cleanup से बंद होकर अभी every weekend webinars बन गए कि एंड लोगों को हमने बहुत मोटिवेट किया. तो उसके बाद started from 3 households basically जहाँ से हमने collection start किया. आज 1200 households से हम लोग collect करते हैं. Many schools and gated communities and offices, corporates are doing it now in their spaces. And so yeah, I mean, when you say how we could motivate people, we took people to dump site. Simple. We said that हमें आज सुबह को एक वॉक करना है, आ जाइए. किसी को नहीं बोलते थे कहाँ जाने वाले. So people used to come, क्योंकि आधा लोग को तो पता ही नहीं डंप साइट कहाँ पे. तो फिर हम लोग लेके जाते सीधा और डंप साइट पहुंच के बोलते थे कि साइलेंट वर्क करते हैं, नो टॉकिंग, नो क्वेश्चनिंग, साइंस वाइंस भूल जाओ, फील करो. गैस आ रहा है ना, सांस ले लो. बच्चे काम कर रहे हैं, जिनको स्कूल में जाना था वो यहाँ पे कचरा उठा रहे. ऑब्जर्व दैट, ऑब्जर्व द हैंड्स एंड लेग्स, ऑब्जर्व द बर्ड्स जिनके डेड बॉडीज पड़े हुए आसपास, ऑब्जर्व द काउज जो जिनके मुंह से वो लिक्विड्स निकल रहे हैं, यू नो. बिकॉज दैट्स द वर्ल्ड वी हैव क्रिएटेड. इट्स आवर वेस्ट, हमारे घर से आ रही है. ये कोई चीफ मिनिस्टर या कोई मिनिस्टर का वेस्ट नहीं है, ये सबका है कंबाइंड. और चेंज करने के लिए हमें, so these, you know, those visuals have worked a lot.
So be the change. So
Yeah,
you
yeah,
start
yeah.
with yourself.
Yes. So maximum people I have, बाद में जब मैंने पूछा कि you know what motivated you, तो तब मुझे वो लोगों से पता चला कि you know दे से कि आपने जो दिखाया था स्लाइड में, दिखाते थे ना आप लोगों का ऐसे हाथ पैर का ये हालत, गाय के पेट में ये हो रहा है, डंप साइट में वो स्मेल वी कैन नॉट टॉलरेट. So we
I think as a
started.
part of education, everybody, I mean, all the schools have to take the children to dump sites also. No, it's a
कहाँ
good
पे?
dump sites. All the
Yeah.
children have to go to the dump sites as a part of their excursion.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
not just gardens and forests and
Exactly. It's very
planetariums
important.
and science labs, but also go to the dump sites.
Yes. Because we can't make it theoretical only कि वो policy है, आप green bin, blue bin, red bin दिया गया. I don't think we work like that. So yeah.
So they also pay you, right, for collections?
Yeah. We means it's like a donation we ask from people because we're NGO. We cannot like demand as such, but we, because the plan is very transparent ना, तो हम लोग को इतना ही बोलते हैं कि भाई आज हम 50 घर से कलेक्ट करेंगे और मेरा 50 घर का भाड़ा है 2,500 रुपये, 2,500. So we tell this to people openly कि if every household contributes 50, so we can ensure that किसी के पॉकेट से नहीं जा रहा है, क्योंकि we don't have extra funds for all of this. Then people give, कुछ लोग 50 के, कुछ लोग 500 रुपए दे देते हैं, 100 रुपए दे देते हैं. मैंने People who can afford it, they pay. People who cannot, minimum they pay as 50, because we are very open about it. So abhi tak to people have really supported us a lot.
So, Shishindu, waste management is, even from the business perspective, it's an upcoming career opportunity, in fact.
Yeah, yeah.
No, that's what I understand from a lot of things which I've been hearing and reading. So, from your experience, if somebody wants to have a startup in the area of waste management, so what are the kind of entrepreneurial opportunities you see in this domain?
So actually, right now, after the Swachh Bharat mission and all came, there are the opportunities have increased, because now waste management has become like a more popular since the last 10 years, and in the sense of opportunities, I think we see now more funding coming into the sector, be it a grant or loans and everything, and setting up facilities to manage waste. More machinery, like there is more technology today to handle waste that is coming in. We talk about compressed biogas, biomethanation, then waste pyrolysis, if we say. So sorry. So there are a lot more opportunities today, and I think there are more online courses and things coming up regarding the study of waste. And so I just personally feel that, yeah, this is a new upcoming sector that is coming up, and there is a lot of support, be it the support from government or the support from private partners, getting funds and all of that. Even there are certain subsidies in terms of loans if it comes to setting up certain MSME or certain related to setting up recycling factories and all. Those options are also there. So I think, yeah, I wanted to do a little bit of research, and yeah, opportunities are there.
Great. So, Shishindu, I think I hope more and more people start thinking the way you think, and also, of course, there is money in this. There is actually a career in this. You can make a business out of
Yes,
this.
yes.
So it's not just trying to do charity,
Yeah, yeah,
but also it can be a financially sustainable um,
yeah,
career option.
completely.
So, uh, the people who are watching this, what, like the youth, or even the community as a whole, what would you like to tell them?
So, one thing which may not be directly related to waste is that, what I have over time realized, two things. One is that when we see a problem in our society that we're trying to solve, we need to give some time to understand the problem and not jump into the solution. The reason being, one of the biggest example we see is plastic. Plastic was made to save the environment at the very first place. Now it's a curse for the environment that we think. Now, plastic has remained plastic. We have evolved over time. And once it was a hero for us, now it's a villain for us. And whatever may be the reality, the problem has been that 130 or 140 years back, when we were trying to shift from nature dependent materials to an artificial material, lab made, that's when we made plastic. Now we are just trying to go back, that reduce plastic, use more natural materials. But the kind of consumption that we have today, I don't know if the planet can support that. So we have to try to little bit reflect more on our consumption habits than just looking at materials. Oh, this is biodegradable, that is recyclable. That will not solve a problem. So that I think is very important. And the second and the simplest thing that I believe in is that people many a times associate, organizations like us as environment saving people and all of that. And over time, I've just realized that the environment doesn't need us. Like, it's fine we are existing, but it's wrong to think that we are saving the environment, simply because, one example again, I feel that, we were already boiling the water and drinking it, and then now we have aquaguard, RO, and all of that. And I had this question, that why did we shift? If we were already boiling and getting pure water, did we need more? Because boiling is at 100 degrees Celsius, right? And then few people told me that even after boiling, there are certain germs or certain things that stay. For me, those germs and bacteria, whatever can stay, is life. So I realized that life can survive on 100 degrees also. And we are fighting for 45 degrees, 50 degrees, we cannot survive. We have to. So this entire survival game is a self survival. And until and
The human
unless,
species.
yeah, it's a survival of the species. And we name it like save the tiger, save the rhino, and all of that. But I think more we do it, the more we taking the battle away from the common people. To make it a journey of common citizens, we have to ensure that it's a story of people,
Yes, you
right?
save yourself, you save human beings.
Yeah, I save my family. If there is someone, married people can say they can save their spouses, they can save their own children, so grandparents can save their niece, nephew. So I think the discussion has to be more personal, and only then I think the way the human
People will
psyche
start
works,
connecting with the cause.
connecting and actually acting towards it. Till it is that saving an animal or saving a bird, a part of our population care and they do something, but everyone will not. And it's wrong to wait for a time to expect that oh लोग क्यों केयर नहीं करते पहाड़ों के लिए जंगलों के लिए शायद नहीं करते whatever be the reason उन लोग के लिए भी कहानी बताना जरूरी है the story is for them also. So yeah, so I think we build a better narrative around climate change. I think it's very important. Yeah.
Brilliant. I think this last bit of insight, that you bring in. In fact, I always had this question: How do you reach it? How do you reach out to the masses?
Yeah.
Because currently there are people who are concerned about this, but they're a minority. So if you have to rope in the masses working for this cause, you have to tell them that it's not about saving the trees or saving the rivers and saving the animals.
Yes.
It's you save yourself.
Exactly.
So once you show them the mirror that
Yes.
this is the writing on the wall, and it's you and the 7 generations for whom you want to keep your wealth and earn, they won't be there.
Exactly.
And that wealth will of no use.
Yeah, true.
Right? I think that's when they will wake up. So that's the kind of
Yes.
narrative you have to build for that kind of a segment.
Yes, very true. Very true. Completely
Brilliant.
agree. Thank you.
So, Shishendu, thank you very much. It was a very insightful discussion.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. Actually, it's so inspiring to meet you in person and get to know about your journey on that session. I know in one session, maybe I would not have been able to hear your entire story. So I will disturb you further. Maybe once you reach back or
Looking
something.
forward, yes.
Would love to know more about your entire journey because I think I always am very selfish. I think I would learn a lot from your journey
Yeah, it's
and
not
share
selfish
that with
actually.
more people.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's we all stand for the same common cause,
Yeah.
approaching it from a different dimension. So that's great. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.